Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Taste of Reality. My name is Queenie. For those who don't know me, reviewing 90 Day Fiance. I almost said Married at First Sight. 90 Day Fiance Season 9, Episodes 5, 6, and 7. So before I get into it, please make sure to like this video, subscribe and hit the notification bell, and leave a comment down below. Okay, so as always, it's going to be jumbled up just because I'm doing a catch-up process at this point, but Sunday's review is going to be more structured. So I'm going to start with Ariella and Biniam. Ari and Benny, to me, I feel like are two people who are trying to make it work because they know they have a kid together and not because there's love in their relationship. You know, honestly, sometimes even when I see Ari wearing her Ethiopian garb, I'm just like, whew, baby, you are forcing this. Like, maybe she genuinely does like the outfits. Maybe. But it feels like she's really trying to see, look, I'm trying to become one of you. See. And I'm just like, girl, I don't think Benny sees it for you. He's going to put in the work because he loves his son. And obviously he has the trauma of losing his first son when the previous wife just up and left and he's never heard from them since. So I think he is going to put in that effort to make sure that doesn't happen again. But does he love Ari? I don't know. It's a little iffy for me. So when they arrived to the States, Ari had told her mother that she wanted a one-bedroom apartment so that it's affordable. The mother took it upon herself to get a two-bedroom apartment because she believed that they needed more space, which is a valid argument. However, if your daughter already told you, listen, financially, it makes more sense for us to get a one-bedroom apartment, and you take it upon yourself to get a two-bedroom and then expect them to take on the payments, oh, you set them up.
You have Wi-Fi, you have a TV.
Less stuff, less stress.
Actually, it's for me and for Ari, it's a lot.
I don't know if it's realistic to expect us to be able to start covering the rent on our own as soon as possible.
You know, soon as you can, but within the first 2 to 3 months, better for you, better for us.
The mom wants them to be close by, so maybe close by there wasn't a one-bedroom apartment. But I'm sorry, if I was Ari, I would be like, well, I'm going to take my sweet time getting a job because I told you what I wanted and you purposely went against my wishes. Now I'm just supposed to take on this huge financial burden because of your comfort? Like, what? And I know that's crazy to say because Ari could have handled this herself. You know, she could have went and got a job and she could have went and got her own apartment so that her family could live in it, okay? The family did her a service, but they also did her a disservice by putting her in this situation. So although they're already going through financial hardship, Benny wants to move to New York, is it? Because they're in New Jersey. Yeah, I don't know American geography, okay? So please don't come for my neck. He's trying to move to a place that's significantly more expensive than where they are currently living. And I'm like, come on, Benny. Like, it's giving, I came here for the American dream. It's giving, once I get my papers, I'm out. And funny enough, when he had a conversation with his sisters trying to get to the bottom of why the whole wine situation happened, first of all, he didn't defend his wife while it happened. And now when he's rehashing the situation with his sisters, he's laughing. I'll be damned.
My family wish by staying in Ethiopia. But they know I have to stay with Ari because of my son.
They later on talk about how he should just get his papers and then he can go back and forth between America and Ethiopia just to see his son. And I'm like, yeah, love does not live here. It doesn't. Neither do they technically because once mama stops paying, they ain't got a house. Ooh, moving on. Next, we're going to talk about Patrick and Thais. Thais has finally come to America, but before she did, she had a conversation with her father, and the father is not a fan of Patrick at all.
Fiquei emocionado porque criar uma filha, né? Depois ela partiu assim.
He also has this insecurity in his mind that his daughter is going to be taken advantage of, that Patrick is just another American guy who's trying to take a woman, a very vulnerable woman, a woman who would be indebted to them, to America, and then God knows what happens to his daughter. So he has that insecurity, but then he also doesn't like Patrick as a person, which is unbeknownst to Patrick because Thais is making it a point not to bring up the father's disdain for him. And so he thinks, oh, you know, the dad likes me. He sends gifts. He takes care of the family, when there's disdain on the other side of the line. So big yikes. So Thais is obviously not a fan of John. John likewise is not a fan of Thais. And them living together is honestly a dumpster fire. But I don't even know who to blame because I feel like they are both doing the most.
Making her breakfast?
Yeah.
She making you breakfast.
No, I'm gonna make her breakfast.
Morning, John.
Good morning.
Beer?
Beer?
In the morning?
You know what beer is?
Yeah, she knows what beer is.
Beer.
Just asking
There's
questions.
beer in
I don't
Brazil.
know. I don't know. Just asking a question.
What are you doing, amor?
I'm cooking John eggs.
Comece os ovos.
Yeah, well,
John sabe fazer ovos para ele.
Don't let her tell you what you gotta cook. You understand?
wants me to eat with
you
her,
cook
so-
what the fuck you wanna cook.
Regardless of how things are happening, I feel like the person who does need to compromise the most would have to be John. Like, Patrick didn't set up a good situation for him and Thais because, brother or not, I'm sorry, when you're now going into a union, having a roommate is yikes. You know, it's really not the best situation, especially a roommate who does not like your spouse, your potential spouse. It's just not a good look. And I understand for the time being it did work for him because he was in a dire situation where he needed somebody to live with. But this arrangement doesn't work anymore. And either John's going to have to bite the bullet and leave, or Thais is going to have to shut up and take it, or Patrick's going to have to cut ties with somebody. And it's looking like it might be John. Patrick did go into, you know, the way that his upbringing was. That's why he's so tied to John. Like, family means so much to him, and it hurts him that he doesn't have that connection with the rest of his family. So the fact that he and John are still in each other's good graces and they still have love for each other, it would pain him to have to separate from him. And he hopes that Thais gets that in her head, but honestly, it's not looking likely. It's not looking likely. This girl is very selfish. And that's the trend with the younger international women. They tend to be very selfish in these situations. So for him to think that she would be able to look outside of herself in this situation is a little naive. On to Eve and Mohamed. I cannot stand the both of them. They are both probably the most irritating people on this season, okay? So with Mohamed, he has already said he came to America looking for a mom. Not even like a sugar mama, literally a mother figure. But at the same time, he wants to be this egotistical male presence in her home where she can't be left alone with another man. She can't be wearing clothes that he deems as seductive. When he initially reached out to her because of the kind of pictures that she was posting on social media, he doesn't like that she wears bikinis. He doesn't like that her panty line is showing. He doesn't like that her cleavage is showing. Like, he has all these stipulations, but then he also wants to be catered to like a child. It's like, babe, what are you saying? This makes no sense.
In Islam that's not right. A man and a woman cannot be alone. If I am home, you should call me.
Like, where am I supposed to go?
You should be like outside. I can see everything.
Okay, well, I can put another jacket on.
All right.
All right.
Thank you.
I think it's rich for him to talk about, oh, in my religion, you know, men and women can't be left alone, where he was left alone with her, even lost his virginity to her when they were not married. So what are you talking about? You have already broken your own rules. Like, you can't use your religion, your culture when it benefits you, and then want to use it against your partner when it's self-fulfilling. Wait, that's the same thing. You guys know what I'm saying, okay? I'm struggling right now. You know what I'm saying? I'm just like, don't use it against her, but then use it to your benefit. Like that's not how it works. The rules are the rules, regardless of who they apply to, you know? So he did meet the friends, and I felt like the friends are definitely trying to push the envelope when it comes to him. I would too, because I'm looking at this young guy who it seems like he's taking advantage of this older woman who is my friend. I would want to poke as many buttons as I can to get to the root of why are you really here? And so he thinks that they're weird. He doesn't like that they show a lot of their body. He doesn't like that they drink and all this stuff. But they're like, listen, this is who we are. This is the country that we live in. You either got to put up or shut up. And I agree with them, honestly. And it's so funny how Eve thought he would somehow become the father figure to her son who has special needs. But this man is not a man. He cannot be a father figure to your son. I'm so sorry. The good thing is that it seems to me, I think I interpreted it correctly, that the child's father is present in the life. They're just not together as a couple. Let that be his only father figure, because Mohamed is not it. Next up, we have Jabri and Miona. As I was looking up clips for this, video, I saw that they already have a YouTube channel. They're doing their influencer thing. I'm just like, yeah, it was giving forced, the storyline, honestly. I feel like the life that he was promising her was a life that she knew she was going to have, especially considering the lifestyle that he had before COVID. So this whole, oh, we have to live in the country. Oh, my mom hates the way you dress and all this stuff. I'm like, okay. It's a way to make the storyline work so that when they do have their come up, it's like, wow, look at the resilience. Wow, they made it so far. I don't buy it, okay? But there was a situation with Jabri's mother where Miona was doing laundry. Jabri's mom went to check in on her, saw an outfit that she had, and she disapproved, right? So Miona was rehashing the situation with Jabri. And honestly, I felt like she shared it pretty to the point of how it happened. I don't think she inflated the situation. I think she shared it as is, but the mom was still offended.
She's like, I don't want you walking around the house in that. And then she mentioned that she don't want me like walking in front of Brian like that.
I'm concerned that Miona is being fake with us because Miona's not telling this to me.
As somebody who does come from a traditional home, I do understand the whole, there's certain clothing that you don't wear around certain people, but Miona is not some seductress trying to get your husband, ma'am. All right. She's a young girl. Like, this is her career. Like, I don't know. I see both sides where the tradition of it all is like, okay, it's just a respect thing, and modesty is important in certain situations. But then on the other hand, I'm like, okay, she's not a temptress trying to get your man, you know? And like a crop top and off the shoulder, like it's not like she's out here with her areolas out. Like I felt like this was doing a little bit much. Do I see them lasting? Obviously, I do. I just think, why are they trying to force a story that doesn't really make sense? Also, is she blackfishing? Because sometimes I look at her and I'm like, this ain't a black woman? And I'm like, no, she's from Serbia. She's not a black woman. But she be looking black. I don't know. Bilal and Shaeeda. I have two schools of thought when it comes to these two. With Bilal, definitely his personality is money, because it seems like that's all he's got going for him. With Shaeeda, I feel like she did this to herself. I do. I feel like she didn't ask the proper questions before coming. I feel like she looked over a lot of character flaws with Bilal. And now she's in a situation where she has to deal with it and suffer. But she could have sifted out, like, his lecturing is not something that's new. Him using his money as like a power dynamic in their relationship is not something that's new. The children conversation. He doesn't want to explicitly say that, yes, I want more children in the future, whereas she believes that she will only get married to a person if they want children in the future. Those are things that you could have hashed out before coming here. And now she's complaining about this and that and this and that, when it's like, girl, just accept the fact that you didn't do your due diligence before coming to be betrothed to this man. I'm sorry. With Bilal, though, it's very irritating how he lashes out at Shaeeda when he doesn't get his way. So the situation with the whole car slapping, she thought it was a joke. He thought it was offensive. He held that over her head the entire day when he wanted this day to introduce her to his family, introduce her to his community. And like, it was very passive aggressive and honestly emotionally abusive.
So, ready to go?
Yeah. Let's go.
Okay, let's go.
So I'll meet you outside.
Outside, okay.
I mean, this way.
Yeah. I'm trying to find ways to fight against my anxiety because I'm going to meet his ex-wife right now, and I'm trying to just calm myself down. I was standing outside the masjid for a while before you came. This is not my place. This is not my country.
In the last episode, I didn't get to talk about how Bilal's kids were on the fence about calling Shaeeda mom. The reality is they do have a mother, so I could see how hard it is to want to give that title to somebody else. I do love how respectful they were in saying, hey, we'll take that into consideration. However, for now, you are Shaeeda. And that's just how it's going to be. With Shaeeda, though, I'm like, girl, you're asking a lot to want these kids to call you mom or Uni or Umi, something like that. I'm just like, y'all ain't even married yet. Not legally, at least. So how about you show up as a mother and then request such things? It's a little soon for you to be saying that. Kara and Guillermo. So Kara gets on my last nerve. And I thought it was going to be Guillermo because he's so young. But honestly, I can see the maturity in him for a 23-year-old. I can see how he has a lot of growing to do. But when you put him, 23, besides Kara, 29, he's the mature one in this situation. So she is planning their high school, well, she's not planning the high school reunion, but she's decorating for it, right? And she has this insecurity that people are going to judge her because she should be somewhere else in life. But here she is on a TV show about dating some foreign person and then also blowing up balloons as her career. So she definitely has a chip on her shoulder going in. At the reunion, we find out that she has an ex-boyfriend who is one of them new little rappers, Lil something something. He looks horrible, but he exposes that she has a history of cheating. It was 10 years ago. They were in high school. Honestly, I wouldn't take that much offense to it if I was Guillermo, but she later on exposed that she has cheated on other people too.
I don't know that part from Kara really well, so I need to be aware, like, I need to be careful.
When she shows you, you can't trust her, go about your life, bro. That's speaking from man to man. I'm telling you right now.
On top of the cheating, she does have a drinking issue where she gets carried away with alcohol and it seems like the drinking never ends. She doesn't want the night to ever end. Whereas he's like, okay, we can have fun, but at some point we need to get back to reality. And they are definitely clashing heads on that matter. So when you mix a history of cheating, her kind of undermining him as a partner, and then she has an alcohol dependence, it's giving recipe for disaster. It really is. And I don't see Guillermo as a person who is using Kara for papers. However, once he get his papers, if Kara makes one slip, honestly, Guillermo, run. Run for your life. Because I can see him doing good things. I can see so much potential in this kid. Maybe I'm being overly optimistic, but I feel like he could really do some damage here. You know, he'll be work-centered. He's got a good head on his shoulders. He's seen what life back home is like, so I'm sure he's going to do whatever it takes not to go back there. Listen, if Kara makes one wrong move and he already has his papers, I support him leaving. Last but not least, we have Kobe and, what's her name? Emily. Kobe, you done messed up. You done messed up, okay? Of course, you guys already have a child. There's nothing you can do about that. But, ooh, the woman you chose to impregnate is insufferable. Oh my goodness. She has every excuse why Kobe can't be a present father in Kobe's life. If you're in the bed, Kobe can't sleep. Oh, why are you telling me I can't breastfeed? Oh, all this stuff. And I don't know if it's me being biased because I am African and I do understand where his values come from. But listening to her, I'm just like, you want to have power over him. And the greatest way to do that is to say, well, I'm the parent. I'm the sole provider for this child here. So therefore, you have to listen to me. You have to bend to my rules. And I'm just like, it's so unfair. Of course, he hasn't been in Kobe's life for 17 months, it is. But I'm like, here he is trying to make an effort, try to step in as a father, allow him the space to do so.
So I miss my mom so much. I wish she was still alive, for her to see Coven.
And share some African culture together. It would make me so happy.
I've been in Coben's life since the day he was conceived. I know exactly how I want to raise him. Kobe needs to respect that, follow it. And once he proves to me that he can, I will let him chime in a little bit more.
I also find it irritating too when somebody uses their family as a crutch. It's great that the family wants to step in and help, but Kobe's in a place where he is a foreigner just in general. He's one of a handful of Black people. He's in a space where it's only your family. And so he has nobody on his side. There's nobody to vouch for him. There's nobody who really understands his perspective, because he not only has the perspective of like a new father just trying to figure it out. He's an African trying to be in this new country, and he's a foreigner coming into an already set family dynamic. Like, there's so many things that are against him. I really do sympathize for Kobe. I do. I think Emily is irritating. I think Emily is a control freak. She's bossy. She's rude. And if she wants a relationship with Kobe to work, she's going to have to let up on the reins a bit. Seriously. Like yesterday. Okay? That is all the thoughts that I have so far. Again, we are going to do now like regular reviews, episode by episode, coming Sunday. As always, please make sure to like this video, subscribe, and hit the notification bell, and leave a comment down below. I'll see you in the next one.